much for joining me again. My name is Rachel Sadler and today's episode is a Vintage Divas house tour. So if you didn't know, I have my own vintage shop called Aiden's Attic Vintage, and I thought I'd give you a bit of a video of the difference today and show you around my house and how I have managed to add some beautiful vintage things to my first home I've ever owned. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Do that so you can see. Welsh tapestry blanket. I think it instantly adds colour and delight to any room. I love its sort of geometric pattern and how it's double-sided, and of course we know my love for a bit of fringing, don't we? So after you've added some sort of layers, you want to sort of layer it up. I even keep a blanket on the end of the bed even in summer because they are great if it's too hot to have your quilt on. You can just use that. Next, every bed should have a bedside lamp, so we've got a little coppery one there with my favourite Great Compton autobiography book. If you've not read it, you truly should. And then we're coming on to this Monstrata plant. I love how oversized it is, and it is on, it's not in a pot, I do apologise about that, but this wicker bedside table, real 70s piece of furniture there. I absolutely love it. I picked this up at one of those vintage wholesalers in London, and I think it cost me £2 possibly. I know, bargain, eh? You can get some real bargain pieces of vintage furniture, so it's always worth to have a little rummage, look at any of those vintage wholesalers that you might have in your area. They really can make a room look that a little bit more special, and it really has like a boho vibe to it, and I think it sort of matches the rest of the furniture and accessories in the room. So then if we zoom in a little bit more, by the Monstrata we have a copper Eiffel Tower. This actually can be hanging, but I just have it placed there. I really like it against the leaf. I think it's cute. This has got me that, so I think it's nice to make each room personal if you can. Next, on to the drawer, the ceiling mirror. So we've got some map prints on the wall. I am absolutely obsessed with map prints. Love them. Then we have this really beautiful vintage mirror. I love this. This was actually picked up in a charity shop. Ooh. I've had it a while actually. I actually bought this mirror before I bought my house, as you do. So I just love it. I love all the detail on it and how it's not very shiny. I think I've had that for about 6 years at least. I've been in my house for over 5 years now, and I wouldn't have paid any more than £10 for it, and I bought it from the charity shop, so that saved less than £10, so pretty good bargain. It has like that sort of patina on the glass as well, which is really nice. Next, add a bit of colour. We've got a plant pot here. It's a plant pot, but I like to use these pots for all different things. So we've got those makeup brushes. They look really good in a cute plant pot, I think. Really useful way to store them, better than anything the modern day equivalent, I think, and it adds a bit of colour as well, and it sort of matches the throw on the bed. So if you are going to add a lot of colour to a room like I have gone for here, they are all quite complementary of each other, so you can go bold and colourful. That suits your colour palette. If not, that is fine as well. Just go sort of complement. You don't want to have too many colours if they are bright and bold. Next, moving on to my slight obsession with maps, as you can see, with my little miniature globe here, on some more of my favourite books about vintage patterns and printing. My favourite dinosaur plant pot, Geisha, we've named her, with the must-have spider plant in every room. Real retro plant there, absolutely love them. Have been plant for years. Have so many of them, and they never stop growing once you have one. It's a great plant. And then next, coming to the wardrobe, which is very boring, but on top of it, I like to fold any of the blankets that I have up, so you can still appreciate their beauty. And also, if you've got a cool bag as well, it's great to use that as storage, and it adds more layers and warmth to the room. And then finally, if you've got like a favourite piece of clothing that you just can't bear to put away, I think hanging up the odd piece of clothing is a great way to sort of appreciate its beauty as well. But remember not to hang it in the sun. Okay, so for the next room that I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you my dining room, which is my second favourite room of the house because I absolutely love my matte paper. As you can tell, we are obsessed with mattes in every room, even the bathroom. travelling, so it's nice to sort of mementos like this. And then I made the tablecloth just out of a broken piece of fabric which I found. So it's a good way to sort of get yourself a nice tablecloth for very, very little money, just £5. So that's good. And I think that extends as well, so it will cover the extended table as well. So tablecloth's actually scarily expensive. I realise it's now pretty much for Christmas. So you know that really. So now I'm going to give you a little room tour so you can see the rest of the room and all this stuff.
Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number. Fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
In this room I've got some of my favourite things and like little just quirky things that I just like and sort of collected over the years. Also my love of a great big plant is key in this room I think, and as this one is currently attacking me. So I've got 3 big plants in here, obviously one on the floor which is in a wicker basket, which was real. That was just a it's real because it's there, vintage even. That was a laundry basket that I had that was actually like a seat as well, which was really cute. Unfortunately the wicker was quite old, so it had started to deteriorate on the seat, but the rest of it was fine, so use it as a plant pot kind of thing. Obviously it's got a plastic pot in it, so as a plant pot sort of disguise, so that's a good tip if you do have any laundry baskets that aren't suitable for that but could be used as a plant pot. We have a big spider plant on a marble style table. That was a wicker basket, probably a waste paper bin, so that's also made a good plant pot and it sort of fits. And then we have on here my really fun copper teapot that I just love. I bought this a couple of years ago now and it's from the 1960s. I think the copper tone fits in perfectly in this room with like the vintage map on the wall, which obviously I literally can't tell you how much I love. Everyone always comments on it, they really like it, and I just think it's so cool. It fits this room, it's kind of like our travel inspired room, and I love it. So much fun. Then next across here, the big sort of cut glass bowl is a vintage punch bowl. Now these do have cups with them normally, but unfortunately mine didn't. So I still have the hook for them to hang off, but just, oh I have some of the cups, sorry. And then just use the rest as like little vintage teacups, which you can pick up really, really cheap in any charity shop. And that is great when you have people around, so that's nice. This blue bowl here is our fruit bowl, obviously, and that has like the most amazing sort of swirly detail effect inside. Oh my god, I love this bowl, and it was £2. £2. So you can make a room look quirky, cool, completely unique to your taste and style, and also get a really good deal as well. One of my candlesticks is just an empty bottle of gin, so it's really pretty actually. I'll show you. Obviously it's not vintage, but I think this is a great way to A, be able to drink more gin, no tassel, and a map on the inside. There you go, you can kind of see it. There's literally no way I was throwing this out, is there? So not only do you get to drink more gin because you need a candlestick holder, it's also a cheap way to get a candlestick holder. So I really like doing that. I think it's fun and it just shows off your personality a little bit. On the big plant on the floor, I have fairy lights just because it adds another light to the corner, because this is at the front of the house, so it is a bit of a dark room. And then a vintage poster on the wall. Oh, because it is nice and bright and sunny. It's south-facing garden, and we've got like double patio doors in here, so it's basically really warm if the sun is ever shining. Maybe not so good in the heat wave that we had this summer, but I've never complained about it being hot, will I ever? So I don't have loads of vintage things in here. Unfortunately, if I could fill my house with vintage sofas and armchairs, oh my god, I totally would. But I do have a few accessories in here, so I'll show you those, shall I? So this yellow bubbly sort of honeycomb style vase is vintage. I picked that up in a charity shop as well. That was £3. It's a very good size, as you can see, and I just love the colour. And then behind it, piece de resistance, just to confirm I am obsessed with maps, is my childhood / sister's bedside globe lamp. Now it has cracked slightly on the top, but I just don't care. It's a soft light to it and it just fills me with so much joy. I love it. The other thing that we have in here that is kind of vintage, oh, it's almost vintage actually, yeah. So this here is a piece of wire art, almost said it wrong, that I made when I was at college. So it is travel inspired. Now I'm not going to go all arty farty or sound like a bit of an art, in the blank, but I used to obviously not drive because I couldn't. Took myself to college. I used to get the train or the bus, or sometimes if I could convince my mum to drive me in if I was late, which was more often than you'd think. I would have a bit of blotting paper and then different pens, so like free flowing ink pens, and then I would draw, or like the movement of the vehicle, draw my journey into college. So I did this over a period of a few weeks, I think, to get like different drawings. I tested out different paper, different pens, etc. And this is for my final major project for college, and it represents my journey into school. So show you a bit more in detail. So what I did after I had the pictures is that I blew them up on a overhead projector and traced them onto a piece of paper, and then from then I got my journey. So this is actually a combination of 6 separate pieces that I've sort of put together to create a bit of wall art. Now all the buttons and the different size buttons, which I use basically threaded onto this black metal wire, these signify like pauses in time. I know that sounds a bit arty-farty, but stick with me. And basically traffic jams. So I use different buttons, different sizes to relate to different sorts of pauses and traffic jam, pauses in time and traffic jam, to create a bit of wall art, which is unique to me. Obviously this was pretty cheap to make, but my cat Molly, rest in peace Molly, I love you, did help me with threading each single different piece of button and wire on. So it did take a lot of time, but I think it looks really cool. I really like how it looks in here, and it's unique to me. So there you go. So we've almost finished with a bit of a house tour, haven't we? Giving you a few tips on how you can add some vintage joy to your house for hopefully some cheap prices. If you're willing to have a little bit of rummage in your local charity shops, thrift store, wholesale, house clearance place, you'll be able to pick yourself up a bit of a gem. My haul, obviously it's a bit dark, I can't really show you, but I have this really amazing, like huge A1 or even A0, so it's massive, it's probably about 5 foot long and 2.5 foot wide poster of another map, shock horror, and it is a a map showing you the different sorts of trees and landscape in the areas of South America. So it's a colourful map. It doesn't actually show you like all the routes and stuff like that as normal maps do, like I showed you in the dining room. So I'll show you that. Another great way that if you want to experiment with adding vintage to your house is to do a photo montage wall, which is what I'm going to be doing in the hall now. So that map's going to come into the living room and then go behind the telly, and then I'm going to put loads of different frames on the wall with just different travel photos and family photos and things like that. It's a good way to get some beautiful, well-made, wonderful like frames. Like I've got a few here that I picked up the other day, so I'll show you them for such a great price. Now I've got 5 frames here, all quite big, and I paid £2 per frame, so it's even cheaper than buying something from IKEA, so and much better quality. So that is a great way to get yourself started. So these are the frames that I picked up the other day, £2 each. They're all sort of similar, complementary, and my whole wall is white. Obviously I'm not going to use any of the prints that are in them. If you like them you can. I like to add a little bit of a different one, so still gold but with a bit of a floral sort of watercolour-esque pattern to the frame here. Also, I forgot to point out in my dining room video that there was a vintage leather backpack that I used to store all my paper that I wrap my sales with for my shop. So that's fun if you found one of those. It's a real cool piece and it looks great in that room because obviously the travel theme. You can see this is the map that will be going into the living room. So South American vegetation map. If I zoom out, you can kind of see it. Got a light in the hallway. A plant in the hallway with some lights on. So there you go. So thank you so much for joining me on my vintage dealer house tour. I hope I've given you a few tips on how you can add some beautiful vintage pieces to accessories and how you may be able to pick up a bit of a vintage bargain for your home. I really appreciate you all watching me. Thank you so much and I shall see you soon. Bye!